Morning, everyone. Welcome to the December 18, 2018 meeting of Henderson County Fiscal Court. We're glad you're with us today. We will begin, as we always do, with an invocation. I'd like you to please stand, and Bruce Todd will lead us in a prayer.
Pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege and honor of coming before you this morning, realizing that you're a God that's in control and loves us, and we love you, and we thank you for this day. And we thank you, Lord, for this opportunity to meet today, to handle the business of the court. We pray for our new court that's coming on this next month. We ask that you be with them and guide and direct them, and may they do the things that's pleasing to you and the community, Lord. And we just pray for our department heads and ask that your blessings on them, Lord. And we thank you for all the things you do, and guide and direct us. And in Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Magistrate Putman.
Here.
Magistrate Warren.
Here.
Magistrate Alexander.
Here.
Magistrate Todd.
Here.
Magistrate Wilkinson is absent.
Gentlemen, you have before you the minutes of the December 4th, 2018 Henderson County Fiscal Court meeting. After a period of review, I'll entertain a motion to accept those.
Move to accept.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other comments, questions, corrections, or clarifications? Please call for a vote.
Magistrate Todd.
Aye.
Magistrate Warren.
Aye.
Magistrate Alexander.
Aye.
Magistrate Putman.
Aye.
I'd like to call to the podium Angie Hagedorn to give us an update on animal control and also a bittersweet announcement.
Good morning, County Judge, magistrates,
Good morning.
and Kurt. How are you guys doing today?
Hi, Angie.
Did you guys have a chance to review the financials? Are there any questions or concerns in regards to those?
You're doing a good job, or have been doing a great job.
Thank you.
Apparently not.
Okay. This will be my last fiscal court meeting. Due to some personal and health reasons, I need to step away for a while, so that's what I'm going to do. And it's been a pleasure serving Henderson and Henderson County. It's been a pleasure working with all of you. I have full confidence in the board. The board's going to step in as interim. I have one of the board of directors with me right now, Debbie Edwards, and they are going to continue the fabulous work that the shelter has been doing. The staff at the shelter, they will keep everything going as they always do, and we will take the best care of the animals that they can possibly take care of. And I just wanted to let you know that it's been a pleasure working with you and working for Henderson. So thank you very much.
Well, I'll lead off by saying I can't recall a better Humane Society director and animal control officer than you've been, and
Thank
we're
you.
going to miss you greatly. I know the board is eagerly working to find your replacement. We trust that they will do a good job, but it'll be hard to fill your shoes. And we appreciate everything you've done. I know it's one of the toughest jobs in Henderson County. I don't think that's overstating it. But we really appreciate it. And we're sorry you have to do this, but we understand.
Thank you very much.
We always welcome you back.
Thank
If things
you.
ever get better, please keep that as an option. I'd like the board to keep that as an option. With that, I'll turn it over to court members. Anything they'd like to say?
Yeah, Angie, I first ditto the same remarks that the judge had for you. And, and I always told you, I really appreciate you're here every meeting, just to keep us updated, which we wasn't accustomed to that before you took that job. So kept us informed, and you and your staff have, in my opinion, have done a fabulous job. And we're sorely going to miss you, for sure. And
Thank you.
like saying, I like what the judge said, that door could always be open for you. So
Thank you very much.
we wish you the best.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate that.
I'll continue on. I enjoy your personality, the way that you seem to make people feel better, and I'm sure in some situations that you've had to deal with, that wasn't always easy to do, but you're very professional. The financials, you've done, I think, a very good job of keeping those current so that we know how you're doing. as an organization, but compliments to you, particularly with your personality and dealing with other people.
Thank you.
Done an excellent job.
Thank you very much.
You've done what you're supposed to, and you've made the right decisions, and this county's going to miss you.
Oh, thank you very much.
You know, ditto what everyone else has said. It was refreshing to see you here most every meeting and the financial report. I can tell you're an excellent leader. You made your other employees better, and that's a sign of a good leader. We
Thank you.
appreciate that, and we're going to miss you, and we just hope that maybe someday you can come back.
Thank you very much.
You know, I want to kind of continue on that. What he said was absolutely dead on. You know, we've had a lot of animal control directors that have been passionate about animals, and you absolutely have that. But you're also passionate about doing the job and the leadership and the management side of it, which has been lacking in some instances. And you've really taken that to the next level, and you've made this organization better. And taking it to a level that it hasn't seen in a long time. So thank you for that. And it's a big loss, and it's big shoes to fill, but I know they're going to do everything they can to fit somebody into those shoes. But it's going to be really hard.
And I honestly have full confidence in the board. I know that they will fill my shoes, and they will keep everything going until they can find that person to take that spot. So I know the shelter's in good hands.
It's going to take a real special person.
Thank you.
I'll end it by reminding members of the public who may be watching this later in our court and the audience here today that you had to handle some of the most horrific animal control situations that we've had that I can recall, including one of the largest genocides of livestock and pets that the state has ever seen. And I know that was a terrible incident, but the way you responded was outstanding. And thankful for you and your staff. And it will be hard to find somebody who can do the job as well as you did, but we hope so. And also, I hope the board would use Angie's consulting every once in a while if need be. So, thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
And don't be a stranger.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'll entertain a quick motion to accept the animal control reports into the record. We'll do this quickly. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That is accepted. Next, Renisa Abner with the County Clerk's report.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I first want to say thank Bruce and Charles and George for all your service and, you know, working so well with our department and with me. And it's really been an inspiration to everyone to see, you know, how well you've taken care of the county. So I will miss you, and I know my department will miss you too. So, and I look forward to working with the new members of the court as well. So, for payments to the county for November, I have, let's see, excess fees for the month, $76,225.62, and total amount remitted for November is $106,109.82. That doesn't include a state payment that the treasurer is trying to consolidate. The state treasurer's office is trying to consolidate the way they pay, and so they've got some vendor numbers mixed up. So $3,210.60 went straight into fiscal court, a fund for the fiscal court, rather than my office. So we would turn it over normally at the end of the month anyway, but they just appropriated it straight to fiscal court. So those totals don't include that amount. So, all right.
Any questions of Renisa? Thank you. Entertain a motion to accept the county clerk's report.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? Please call for a vote.
Magistrate Alexander.
Aye.
Magistrate Warren. Magistrate Todd.
Aye.
Magistrate Putman.
Aye.
Thank you.
Renisa. I'd like to call Jailer Amy Brady up for her report. And I know it's been an eventful weekend.
24 hours. Good morning.
Good morning.
Last meeting we opened bids for the medical contract for the facility and met with my jail magistrates and went back and forth with Southern Health Partners. They were the only group that submitted an RFP. And originally they submitted $955,240. And we've got it down to $842,000, which will increase our monthly payment to SHP $2,415.47 a month. But with that, they are giving us an additional 10 psych hours each week. We have a psych nurse, mental health, that comes to the jail to see prisoners. If not, it all has to be done over the phone, or they would have to be taken out to a mental health facility for evaluations. So that will up her hours to 16 hours each week, and it will give us an additional 32 nursing hours. So we'll have an additional nurse several days a week. It will also give us one more hour with our physician each week. We have a doctor that comes to the jail. Also in this, we raised our ADP from 725 to 750, which is our average daily population. So that cuts down on the overage we pay right now. Anything over 725, we pay $2.04 per prisoner every single day. So any overage over 750 prisoners, it will go down to from $2.04 to $1.25.
I'd ask Magistrate Todd, as representative of the jail committee, if you'd like to add any comments. Or
No, like I said, she's the only public health department's the only one that submitted a bid. So, and it was kind of pricey, we thought, but we asked Amy to go back and negotiate, which she did. So I think she did a good job, excellent job at doing that. So.
Before we move on to the other points in your report, is that all you have?
Yes, sir.
Information? I believe that's a contract that I have to sign as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we need a motion to approve that contract.
So moved.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? And you feel good about that contract?
Put the numbers to it and worked with our budget, plus liability coverage. It's worth every penny.
Yeah.
And you've been working with them for several years.
For years, yes,
That's
sir.
right.
So you feel like you're actually expanding health coverage and health services there, and I guess it was the ADP going down that led to the savings, the overall savings?
The ADP was raised, and so we won't have the additional monthly allotment going out, which sometimes can be several $1,000s.
So that's where the savings is
Quite a
the
bit of savings
amendment
there,
to
yes.
the ADP?
Yeah.
Okay. But you feel like you're actually getting more hours of treatment for inmates?
Yes, they did their LPN, RN, psych, doctor. They showed us how many hours each week. So we're better off with this. We'll have an additional 36 hours a week.
Yeah, I think 36.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions? Please call for a vote.
Magistrate Todd?
Aye.
Magistrate Alexander?
Aye.
Magistrate Warren?
Aye.
Magistrate Putman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Yes, sir.
I wanted to pay a compliment to your team. We're able to go and help a very difficult situation in Boyd County. I think
Yep.
jail staff from around the state are helping take shifts on that jail, which is in a crisis right now. So thank you, and thanks to your team for helping.
You know, I like to say that I got some calls from that area, and they said that Henderson County, we can be proud of our personnel that went in there, that they did an excellent job. They knew exactly what to do. They were well trained, and they knew how to train the employees, their people, and that they set a high standard for other individuals that's going to come in this next month. So they were very appreciative of Henderson County and their professionalism.
They did a great job. We've had calls from corrections. The staff that went in, they set the precedence for the others that followed. They said they were an easy group to follow.
Yep.
The jailer there had resigned, and they appointed a new jailer that would be taking over. He lost a lot of staff, and the jail needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
But they did everything they could, and they worked to get staff trained in corrections, and I think Warren County's there today, so they're working with them.
Great job. I know we also had an elderly inmate pass away over the weekend, and your staff is examining that, but that happens sometimes with older inmates.
Passed away last night. He'd had some outside testing done. Chronically ill since he'd been at the jail, and he'd been there several times before, and in Vandenberg County had tests run, and the test came back clear. He was in medical ISO, which is directly across from medical, and was being monitored. When they got the call, medical was there within 3 minutes, and there wasn't anything that they could do, so he's having an autopsy this morning.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
You also have in your packets the sheriff's report. David, anything to add to the report? No. After
Move to accept.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions about the sheriff's report? Please call for a vote.
Master Putman,
Aye.
Master Warren, Master Alexander,
Aye.
Master Todd.
Aye.
Mr. Gold, your report, please.
Judge, I've got 3 checks today. First, flow through for a supplement to Assistant County Attorney's salary, $458.33. Payment for dental and life insurance, $379.26. Health insurance, $8,927, bringing today's total to $9,764.59, and the fiscal year total to date, $77,217.53.
Thank you. Motion to approve that.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions of Mr. Gold? Please call for a vote.
Master Alexander,
Aye.
Master Warren,
Aye.
Master Putman,
Aye.
Master Todd.
Aye.
I'd like to ask County Treasurer Brenda Ryder to come to the podium and offer her report.
Thank you, Brenda.
These are the bank balances after paying claims today. The day-to-day appropriation line item should be at 50%, and I have some additional claims. To Visa in the amount of $630.99, $74.24 of this to come from the general fund for custodial supplies, $556.79 to come from the road fund for miscellaneous expenses of supplies and repairs. From the road fund to the Evansville Courier and Press in the amount of $825. This is to come from Parks advertising line item, and this is for the district cleanups, the advertising of those. Also from the road fund to the Evansville Truck Center in the amount of $134,678. This is for the new truck, which will be delivered on Friday, and this was pre-approved in an earlier court. The truck is a 2019 Kenworth. From the jail to Lowe's in the amount of $651.89, and this is to come from miscellaneous building and equipment repair lines of the detention center.
Any other questions about claims? Give you a chance to look through those real quick. All claims are within the approved budget, correct?
Yes, they are. I will address in the road fund, you will notice that the blacktop line item is budgeted at $500,000, and actually the expense to that was approximately $542,000, and that was for the additional blacktopping for the flooding, which will be asked to be FEMA reimbursed, and for a Bent Creek resurfacing, which I will address later as a line item transfer also.
Judge, I'd move that we pay the claims.
We have a motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions on the claims? Please call for a vote.
Magistrate Todd.
Aye.
Magistrate Warren.
Aye.
Magistrate Putman.
Aye.
Magistrate Alexander.
Aye.
Go ahead.
Also have a line item transfer, which you should have a copy. To resurfacing and/or blacktop appropriation line, transferring the amount of $42,019.35. And this is being transferred from the rock materials line item.
And again, the added blacktop expense relates partly to the flooding in the spring and some of the damage done, and we're applying for reimbursement from FEMA, and we hope we see that in the next 10 years. The FEMA moves slowly, but we have, I think, finished the application. Kurt Wiesen worked very hard on that to get that completed, so hopefully we'll see good news about that. But we have the line item transfer in front of us, so any other questions about that?
Do you want a motion to do that, these individuals?
Yep.
I move we make the transfer.
You have a motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? Please call for a vote.
Magistrate Putman.
Aye.
Magistrate Warren.
Aye.
Magistrate Alexander.
Aye.
Magistrate Todd.
Aye.
One more transfer?
Yes, sir. I have an inter-fund transfer to the road department in the amount of $2,200,000, and this is being transferred from the general fund, and this is part of the routine budgeted
Transfer?
transfer.
This almost happens annually.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And last year it happened more towards the end of February, but because of the additional flooding expenses, it's happening a little earlier.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions about that? Again, budgeted as part of our transfer out in the general fund.
Yes, sir.
Please call for a vote.
Magistrate Putman.
Aye.
Magistrate Warren.
Aye.
Magistrate Alexander.
Aye.
Magistrate Todd.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Before we get to go to the county, I'd like to call Brian Bishop up. He has just a heads up for us that we'll be taking into consideration to review at the next fiscal court meeting, but he wanted to talk about it in a bit now.
Yes, sir. At the most recent Plan Commission meeting, we voted to approve public improvements associated with Canoe Creek Estate Subdivision, Section 4. Those improvements were 660 linear feet of 4-foot concrete sidewalk and 336 linear feet of 32-foot wide asphalt paved street and the associated curb and gutters. These were all inspected by our county engineer, Mr. Bill Hubiak. The bonds associated with these improvements has been released by the Plan Commission, so it will come to the fiscal court for a resolution to approve, I believe.
You said Canoe Creek, but you meant Bent Creek, right?
Bent Creek, yes, I apologize.
So we're going to be taking that into review so we can pair a resolution or an ordinance, whichever Mr. Gold determines is appropriate at the next fiscal court meeting.
I believe that's the plan.
That's the plan. Any other questions about that?
One question.
Yes, sir.
And only because of what you said. Have you already released the bond?
The bond has been released. The Plan Commission voted to release the bond at the December 4th meeting.
Okay, I guess I'm trying to figure out, it's a moot point.
Which part? The bonding or the acceptance?
Or the resolution approving the acceptance, because if the bond's not there, wouldn't the bond wait and be released after we've approved it?
Well, I think what we're specifically being asked at this point is whether or not to accept it into county road maintenance.
Right.
Make a good point about the bond. However, that has to do with the initial construction. As far as future maintenance going forward,
Right.
that's
And
we
I'm only
can't
thinking
maintain
about
it.
formality here, because I agree bonds need to be released. But as far as a process, And Steve, I think, agrees with me that only for the future.
Something to remind the planning commission of in the future, especially when we're accepting in a road.
Oh, I understand. But in this case, to your point, the developer requested that we do that as quickly as possible. So we were trying to be accommodating in that regard. So
Don't disagree.
that's where this process led us in this case.
And I
But
appreciate
But it's definitely something to consider in the future.
And the purpose of the bond is to make sure that it is built to the proper standards and that
Correct.
it had been inspected by.
Correct.
county
That
engineer, right?
that responsibility falls to our county engineer, Mr. Bill Hubiat.
right. And hey, I'm just
Yeah,
talking about
No, it's a valid concern, but in this case, it was to help the developer in a sense.
Gotcha.
So.
And as executive director of the Audubon Area Home Builders Association, I'm sure you're glad to see this
and as
street
a
come
banker,
online.
As a banker, I can tell you that if I had the bonds,
You'd want it released as soon as
I'd want it
possible.
released
So,
as-
yeah. I'm getting a little mixed message here.
Good.
But if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
We'll review this and get this ready to be teed up at the next fiscal meeting.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd also like to call Andrew Powell up, who has a special presentation.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I'm here on behalf of Elks Lodge 206. I'd like to first announce, if you haven't heard, we're moving back into town. As of 2 weeks ago, we've acquired the Delkers property at 122 North Elm, and should be opening up in the next couple weeks. If you're not currently an Elk, we sure would invite you to join and become a part of a revitalization of that long history and of service to our community. I'm here today to present the court one of our big programs with the Elks Lodge nationally is what we call the Americanism program. And our city and our county fiscal court have both been recognized by our international association and our local lodge and state lodge for properly flying the American flag both at this location and across the street. I noticed that it's at half-mast today, and it's lighted at night appropriately within the ordinances of the President of the United States. And we wanted to present the fiscal court with a certificate of honor for recognizing that, and thank you for your dedication to the United States of America in properly recognizing our flag and flying it appropriately. So thank you very much.
Thank you, and Andrew, I'd encourage those members to continue to make sure that we're doing this properly, including keeping the flags up to good repair.
Absolutely.
It can be difficult in wintertime especially, but help us keep an eye on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all very much and appreciate your service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is there anybody who'd like to make any comments here in the audience for good of the county? If you'd like to, just step to the podium. Mr. Farmer?
Yeah, forgive my moving slow. Magistrate Warren and I are trying to see if we can keep all the healthcare organizations busy. As Henderson County Coroner, I just wanted to come in and thank you all for the last 12 years as coroner and the years before that as a deputy coroner for the work that all y'all have done. Charles has been here the longest, and I feel like we've had a good working relationship with everybody, and I want to thank you all. I wish you luck in your new endeavors and all, and just to thank you for all the good you did for the county, all your dedication and all. And Henderson County has had its ups and downs, and you all have helped pull everything through. I hope to get a good relationship with the new court that it's coming in, that Judge McCullum and Deputy Barry and I have been working together for years on stuff, but we look forward to it. The court has been, the coroner's office has grown so much in the last 20 years with what it used to be required to do and what's required to do now by state statutes and all. But like I said, I want to thank each and every one of y'all. Y'all have done a great job. You've been a great service to the community, and I'm sure that in your new endeavors, you all will also too. So I just want, on behalf of the coroner's office, I want to thank you all.
Thank you, Bruce.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate what you do. Anybody else from the audience today would like to make a comment? Yes, ma'am. If you don't mind stating your name.
Absolutely. Debbie Edwards, Board of Directors, Henderson Humane Society. I want to thank you all for all of your support and encouragement for the Humane Society. We've worked diligently to make it a really good place, and we are desperately looking for somebody to fill Angie's shoes. I just want to assure you that we are all diligently working toward that, and as soon as the end of the year comes, we should be interviewing people, and we will try our very best to keep it running business as usual. And if you have any questions at all, I'm sure you can contact any of the board or executive board to answer any of your questions. We will desperately miss her as well.
Yeah. Thanks, and please keep us posted
Absolutely.
on your progress. And I think it'd be appropriate to make sure that Humane Society gets into some portion of our agenda at the next meeting, and you can give us an update. We'll be meeting on the 8th. I want to take a moment to announce our first meeting of the year. Starting next month will be on January 8th, special called meeting, and that'll be the first meeting of the new fiscal court. So for Beth's record, January 8th, special called meeting, and we'll get you on the agenda there if you mind coming us and giving us an update.
Someone will definitely be here from the board, absolutely.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else for good of the county? Yes, ma'am. Ms. Hagedorn, back at the podium.
Henderson was my hometown until my parents drove me kicking, screaming to Union County because my dad just had to have his own business, and it was in Union County. My parents are originally from Union County. And for the last 2 years, it has been nice to come home every day and work. I wanted to thank the county for all of those things I remember as a kid, still seeing, all of the Central Park being decorated, all of the street, all the flags out, all the different things that you do to celebrate America and you do to celebrate Henderson. So I just wanted to say that not as an employee, but as a citizen, I have greatly enjoyed being able to come home and see all those things every day. So I just wanted to give you props for that.
Thanks, and I'd encourage you to attend the next city commission meeting and express your thoughts as well, because they certainly do a lot of that.
But it has been a pleasure working with all of you, too. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for good of the county? Magistrate Putman?
Thank you, Judge. Well, it seems like it's a day of goodbyes and new beginnings, for sure, with Angie leaving and our present court. But I want to say just a special thank you to Magistrate Wilkerson, Magistrate Todd, Magistrate Alexander, Magistrate Warren for their dedication and service to this community. I say in all confidence that you're leaving on a high note, so you've left it better than probably you found it. So that's always good to go back on. But I know these guys have worked hard over the years, and I've had the pleasure of working with them. They drugged me along being a new guy, kind of lost in the dark, and Tim and Beth are here today, so they'll know that feeling shortly. But looking forward to working with you guys also, the new court. I had to compliment the coroner for, I was watching the clock when he started, and he took about 3 minutes, and I didn't think Bruce could say anything in 3 minutes. But he seemed to capture every bit of what I was going to say, and you kind of beat me to the punch, Bruce. But I wish all you guys the best. I know this won't be the last we hear from you. But thank you for all you've done. We really do appreciate it. And just want to wish everyone a Merry, Merry Christmas and a prosperous and Happy New Year. And everything's good in the fourth, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Magistrate Warren.
Yes, thank you all for as a group, what y'all have been able to do to help us. I hate to leave, but it obviously wasn't up to me in this case. But I want to thank all the citizens who made comments throughout the term that I was here both positively and negatively, because they're not always what they want to hear. But I wanted to hear that as well, because that way we can respond to both of those. And I want to thank all the departmental people, Jeff, Renessa, Brenda, all you all that have been so helpful. There's some things, certainly we didn't get accomplished. I still would like for us to maybe look at the contract mowing in the future. I know Davis County does that. I think there's a possibility of some savings. I wish I just wrote down a couple of things. I wish the Spottsville Bridge could have gotten started. I will say that hopefully for the incoming court, we've made it easier for you all, because we bit a bullet when we voted to do the net profits payroll. But in the long run, that is going to be beneficial to the county. You might, I think at some point you might look at, and I would have if we'd stayed, insurance tax, maybe lowering that, particularly for the farm community, because I know they, right now, financially, not all farmers are doing as well as they would like to be. Want to thank my family for allowing me to miss a lot of events. And I'm sorry, y'all know me that I do get emotional, and I can't help that. But there was a lot of things that I would have done, but I feel like the community was more important. So with God's way, maybe I'm back with my family and doing the things that I should. So with all that being said, now that I've gotten through my emotions, hats off to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Magistrate Alexander.
Well, I've been here a long time, and there's been a lot of things change. I was sworn in December the 20th, 1991, almost 27 years to this day, 2 days from now. And when I got in, I was I'd never been to a court meeting in my life. Didn't know anything about it. So my first vote, when I got sworn in, we had a meeting in January, was to uphold the planning commission's vote on whether to have the coal mining ordinance that Henderson County had or not. And I was the swing vote. Never made a vote in my life on fiscal court. So that's what the headlines I think I remember says was a baptismal by fire. And that's kind of that's how I got started. And then soon after that, we had court meeting, and we were, as some of y'all have heard me say, and Charlie would actually know too, that we had a discussion on whether to buy chains for a truck or not, because we had $300,000 in our reserve when I got here, in the whole county reserve. So we had to step up to the plate and do the right thing, and we put an insurance tax on. Now, it wasn't a jail tax. It was an insurance tax for the entire county. Jail figured in, yes, it did, but we had problems besides the jail. So then we got going pretty good. Things were going good, and then we got hit with some more things where that probably 8 or 10 years we did pretty well. So we bit the bullet for that, and then we got into another little slump, 2 or 3, 4 years ago, and that's a long story. But there was a kind of a perfect storm, along with some things that probably shouldn't have been done or created, but that's another thing. So this court had to step up and do the right thing again. It wasn't a popular thing. It was the right thing, because you got to get the county, keep it going. You got to do what is best for the county, not what's best for your political affiliate or your best friends or your buddies. You got to do what's best for the county. And we've done that. On every court I've been on, we've done that. And I'm proud of that. And I will challenge the new members of the court to, when the time comes, and there will be a time, that you'll have to step up and do the right thing, and I hope you will. I'm sure you will. But you kind of leave your party aside and your friends aside and do what the county is best for the county. That's the main thing you got to do. We've got this county going. We kind of bit that bullet, as George said, and we got this county going good. It's on the right track. This court took a whipping to do it, but there again, that's what had to be done. You've got a good judge to steer you, and that's very important. I've served under 4 county judges. He's probably the best I've served under. So we're leaving this county in a good way, and I'm proud to say that I've been honored to serve for 27 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Master Todd?
That was a tough act to follow. I too want to thank God for the opportunity that I had to serve the folks of Henderson County, particularly District 2, as magistrate for the past 12 years. It was certainly a privilege and an honor to do so, and something I'll never forget. I can hold my head up high. I stood strong for the things that I believed in. And I hope this new court remember that they too need to stand true to their beliefs and what's right for the county. And it should be okay to disagree on some issues. I always ran a good campaign, making sure I never said any negative things about my opponents or telling things that wasn't true. Your word and your privilege and your is the only thing you really have. So I worked hard to keep a good reputation and a good word in the community. But I'm good. I mean, it's great. It's been a good time. I'll never forget. I had the opportunity to represent Henderson in the Commonwealth in Frankfurt, serving as chairman of the legislative committee. I had the opportunity to testify in front of some of the legislative bodies on behalf of issues on behalf of the county government. Served as president of CACO and president of Magistrate Commissioner Association, which was a privilege and an honor. And I hope that Henderson County will continue to be involved in those in Frankfurt. I know that Steve is on the CACO full board and has done good things in Frankfurt. Our judge was appointed to the Kentucky Coal Coalition Mineral Board of Directors, which is very important. So I know, and I know there's some names in this room now that's on a list to be asked to serve on some boards in Frankfurt, and I hope they do so. But I'm not going anywhere. I'll be back. I love all of y'all. I love Henderson County. Henderson is my home. And I will continue to work and do everything I can to make Henderson County a good place to live and to raise your family. It's been a great journey, and I hope the court and do court the best. And I want to thank all those that supported me in the past. I know that when one door is closed, a better door opens, and I look forward to the future. Thank you. I yield back, Judge.
Thank you, Bruce. Mr. Gold.
Yes, so I'm rarely at a loss for words. Following these guys is a tough thing to do. During the past term of this court, and during the entire terms of service of the members that are leaving, this court has been through, like Charles said, some highs and some lows. And you all did an excellent job of seeing us through that. And stepped up a lot of times when we had some pretty tough times. We've done a lot of things together. We've ridden roads together. We've looked at flooding together. We've done all kinds of things. We've crunched numbers together, sometimes late into the night, trying to make things work out. Worked on all kinds of projects, improved parks, done all kinds of things. But we've also mourned the loss of friends and family and county judges, and seen the county through those things. And that's just it's really been an honor working with each of you. And each of you had some particular strengths that you brought to the table, and it really made for a great team. And I know that's what we're going to have going forward. But like Bruce said, sometimes it's good to disagree, and sometimes there were some vehement disagreements about things, but that's what this process is about. And I think you all have a whole lot to be proud of. George was always coming at things with a different point of view and very creative solutions and problem solving. That made this court stronger. Bruce, he was a quiet leader in a lot of ways, but I tell you, when I would see this guy up in Frankfurt chairing things, and he really shines. I tell you, this guy is revered by his peers and the people around him in the state, and he's done a lot to keep Henderson County in the minds of the people that are doling out money in Frankfurt. So that's a big deal, and he's really represented us incredibly well on both a state and on some occasions a national level. And Charles, he's seen this county through several peaks and valleys, and really in this last term especially has stepped up to be a true leader on this court and done wonderful things for this county, and had that memory, that institutional memory and history, and able to say, hey, we've been down this road before, and here's what we need to do. And that's been something that has been invaluable to all the members of this court. And Carter, he's always been very affable and passionate about jail issues and things like that. So we had a really good team, and I think this county is significantly better for each of your service. And I personally want to thank you, and on behalf of the county attorney's office, we know that we were always supported by this court, and we really appreciate that. We always felt that you were there for us and for the entire county. So thank you.
And real quickly, I want to thank all the department heads. I know Brian, I hear nothing but good things out in the community about Brian's leadership at Planning Commission, and Renisa, the Secretary of State, just loves her house and ground. She always says, tell me to tell you hi, and Randy, our code department guy, and he does an excellent job, and Jeff, and our sheriff, and I tell you, our jailer, she is known already across a lot of the state, and Henderson, the jail, has a good reputation. So I just want to thank all y'all, state, Nick, our engineer, does an excellent job in our community also. So appreciate that, all y'all. Bruce Farmer, it's always good to see Bruce.
I'll make two quick announcements. Again, January 8th special called meeting will be our first fiscal court meeting of 2019. Also, the new members of fiscal court and Bruce, the lone holdover from this court, will be meeting for a retreat. We're calling it on Thursday from 8 a.m. to lunchtime to brief them on everything going on locally with the county and kind of add on to all the things they learned at the newly elected officials conference last week. That meeting is going to be open to the public if anybody wants to sit through 5 hours of things like the budget and what all the department heads do, but it will be open to the public. That is this Thursday from 8 a.m. through lunchtime, probably ending about 1 p.m. depending on all the questions that are raised. And with that, I'd like to call for a point of privileges, Judge. I'd like the magistrates to stay in their seats for the moment while I come down front.
Judge, while you're doing that, I'd like to just mention, you mentioned the newly elected training, and our entire fiscal court was there, and Brenda was there, and Butch, even though it was newly elected, he showed up and met with everybody, went to all the trainings, and I think that's something that it was great seeing an entire row of a Henderson County Fiscal Court sitting there and being part of that, and I think that shows also what our new team is going to be like too. It seemed to be a real good team.
I agree. This time I'd like to present some special mementos to the magistrates who are leaving us, just as a way to acknowledge your service and really remind you, hopefully, of your time in fiscal court, because all the magistrates who are leaving us were multi-term magistrates. That is a lot of time to commit to the community. As George said, it took them away from family and friends at times in order to do the business of the county. It's a sacrifice. Puts a lot of pressure on you. It's not easy to see your name in the paper with folks not necessarily saying the nicest things about you, but it's also great when the county acknowledges your fine service. And I didn't want to let today pass without one last chance to compliment you. So from District 1, I'd like Magistrate Warren to step down here, please. And if anybody wants to take pictures of this, I'd appreciate it. In honor of your service, we'd like you to have this memento, and I appreciate getting to know you as a magistrate, and we've known each other a long time as friends, so congratulations. More Magistrate Warren, everybody. And if you won't mind standing right there. From District 2, Magistrate Bruce Todd. Again, a longtime member of the court, as was mentioned, a longtime representative of Henderson County on state boards and state issues. We appreciate the time you took. Running back and forth from Frankfurt every other week is not fun, but once you get there, it's important work to do, and you've done it. So I appreciate it. Magistrate Bruce Todd. Finally, one of the longest-serving members the court's ever seen. From District 3, Magistrate Charles Alexander. Again, something to help you remember, if you'll ever forget it, possibly forget your service on this court. Thank you for everything, and thank you for being very kind to me when I came on this court in this position. It wasn't easy, and I appreciate you, especially you working with me on that. And in addition to this small favor, I have a proclamation to read, especially for Charles Alexander. I think you would all agree that 27 years of doing this job is quite extraordinary. To weather the highs and lows of that is quite something, and I wanted to make a little special additional compliment to Charles through a proclamation, and I'd like to read this, please. Bear with me. Whereas Charles Alexander has proven his devotion to the people of Henderson County by serving 27 years on fiscal court as magistrate for District 3, one of the longest such tenures in county history. In that time, he has helped support and guide hundreds of projects and initiatives that improve the quality of life, public safety, and economic strength of this county. Mr. Alexander has worked alongside 4 judge executive and more than a dozen fellow magistrates to help conduct the business of the county in thoughtful and compassionate ways, often in the face of very difficult decisions. He has served on numerous boards and committees on behalf of fiscal court and has been diligent in helping them achieve their goals. Whereas as magistrate, Mr. Alexander has been particularly aware of the needs of his district. He is a member of the Smith Mills Lions Club and has also worked to assist the communities of Geneva, Cairo, and Corydon. He is known around the county for the country hymns he prepares and donates to countless fundraisers for local charitable organizations. He's an eager volunteer and is quick to come to the aid of a friend or neighbor. Now, therefore, after nearly 3 decades of faithful service to the county, Mr. Alexander deserves the thanks and praise of past and present fiscal court members, elected officials, Henderson County employees, and the constituents whose health and welfare we all safeguard. Today we recognize his dedication, his sacrifice, and his courage. It is for those sentiments and more that we offer sincere gratitude. I have therefore set my hand and caused the seal of the county to be affixed this 20th day of December 2018 and proclaim it Charles Alexander Day. Congratulations.
I just want to thank everybody. Hope they have a Merry Christmas. This is an honor that I didn't expect, and thank you very much. And the other honor I got one time was the Smith Mills Park. The people of Smith Mills asked the current judge if they'd name the park after me, and that was probably one of the greatest honors I ever got, mainly because I got to live to see it. Usually that stuff happens after you pass away. But anyway, I just want to thank everybody and I've enjoyed it. Like I said, it's been an honor to serve. And I will say one thing on a light note. I remember when we first started here, we met every week, coat and tie, every week. And it was 2 to 3. It didn't get out before noon, I can tell you that, because we had that coal mining bunch up here every week. It was tough. I'm going to tell y'all, it was tough just starting out. But anyway, thank y'all.
And thank you. And for the last time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
I'm not going to accept the motion from Magistrate Putman. Would any of you
Just
like
trying to get a peep in here. Yeah.
George Warren makes a motion. Do I have a second? A motion and a second. All those in favor can leave, but I hope you spend a little time saying thank you to these great public servants. Thank you.